Today, I'm going to be setting up the April pages in my Alice in Wonderland themed reading journal. So stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are here for the first time, my name is Tracy, and today I'm going to be setting up my reading journal for the month of April, and I will be doing a readathon again this month. I will be going back to Readathon Academy for the spring semester. This is my third year doing this readathon. It is a year-long, or I should just say at this point, ongoing readathon. It is really, really cool. You build characters, your character has a calling, your calling determines what classes you need to take and then what prompts you need to fulfill to pass those classes. There's also a year-long challenge. It's just a lot of fun. If you want more information on the readathon, I will have Book Roast channel linked down in my description box. But yeah, you can follow her for more information, because like I said, she does in-depth videos that are really, really fun to watch about the readathon and how to do everything. Plus, she has a Google Drive with images and stuff like that. I did print out some images to use in my journal today as well. So I do have an Alice in Wonderland themed reading journal. Sometimes I don't hit it right on the nose when it comes to Alice in Wonderland. Sometimes I just try to find some inspiration. And this month I'm finding inspiration. So I was thinking tea party. And I was thinking like Mad Hatter too with the tea party. So the images I got was from Creative Fabrica. So I have teacups and hats and that's pretty much it. Teacups and hats. And you will see I have these large pre-done images, because what I did is I found the images on Creative Fabrica, inputted them into Canva, and then I added my prompts and things like that already onto the image, so that way it's already done for me. I just slap it down on the page and I'm done. I have 3 of these already to go, and being I only do 6 pages for the month, that's going to cut my time down quite considerably, so I'm not mad about it. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and cut this. So I did put, April and then chapter 4, because I started with the whole chapter thing, because with Alice in Wonderland, I'm like, we'll just kind of keep it like storybook like. We'll see if I keep that going or not. All right. Did not do that completely straight, but it's straight enough. This printed a little crooked, as you can tell. Okay. Let's see if I cut enough off of this page. So I do my setup the same. I just have no reason to change the setup now that we're entering the 4th month. I kind of like how I have everything laid out as far as what goes where. So yeah, we're just going to keep it going. So I just do a cover page over here that really has no function. I don't know why I decided to take the whole image off the sticker sheet, but you know what? We'll just go with it. Maybe I'll do this because we can already see what's going to happen. Oh, it's a little crease right there, but I'm not going to pull it up because I'll do more damage. So it did print a little bit larger, which is very interesting because I set it for an 8x8. So that is good to know as well. All right, and you're going to hear lots of noise in the background because it doesn't matter when I start to film. It seems that people want to do yard work. So I'm filming this after work, and yeah, I just saw a piece of construction equipment. All right, so there we go. Look how pretty that looks. That looks really, really pretty. All right, the other pages I'm going to do now have sticky stuff on it. I'm going to go ahead and set those up as well because they will kind of probably guide what I do on the other pages. All right, 2 pages are done. That was really quick, and I really like how this looks. So, like I said, all of these images I got from Creative Fabrica. They were not sized for a square. They were sized mainly for like a portrait. So it was taller than it was wide. So I did have to like clip this down and then size it for an 8x8. So this isn't the full image. This is just a part of the image that I could get to make a square. So after I did that, I actually did that in Canva. So I uploaded the image into Canva. Then I added some transparency to it because, one, it saves ink because this is pretty bright. And 2, I'm going to be putting book covers on the page. And if it's this dark, I felt like the book covers would blend in. Plus it would look a little busy. So that's the reason why I did the transparent look. I really like the transparent look, if I'm being honest. I might like this more than this, but it's fine. It's fine. So yeah, like I said, I will print book covers at the end. I'm going to determine my most anticipated. I might have it already. I'm not sure. But I need to finalize my TBR before I set that one, pick that one, because I want to make sure it's a book that I'm definitely going to read. So yeah, I'll do all of that. So this is most anticipated, favorite book, an honorable mention, which is close to being a favorite, but not quite, most pages, most disappointing, and the fastest read. So that is the one that took me the less time to finish. And then this is the page for the readathon I'm doing this month, which is the spring equinox. We are at Aurelium Academy. So the Aurelium Academy logo and my Mage Hunter badge are both on the G Drive, or not G Drive, the Google Drive. And it was created by G from Book Roast. So that's what I put there. So the badge that I put, like I said, I'm doing Mage Hunter. I'm currently an apprentice. So I've completed 2 years. That's why I'm an apprentice. And this is my, I guess now 5th semester, or yes, 5th semester. So I added that. This I did not space correctly, but it's fine. I'll just have to do smaller ones, or maybe I'll do smaller ones here to make them look better. But those are the classes that I have to complete. So I didn't go all out for this page because I have a magical readathon journal that I need to work on. But that is when I would do a spread that will have a copy of the syllabus, a copy of whatever else I need for this particular readathon. It will have all of that in that journal. So I will do a flip through of that journal probably sooner rather than later. So you will see that. All right. So now let's get back to working on these other pages. So I did do reverse images. So are we going to do Dutch doors? Maybe. Because I was thinking this would be really cool for like a Dutch door. It's really big though. It's really big. I would probably do that one as a Dutch door, so I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about drawing that. I mean, I can always cut that off. I could cut that off. I would probably cut that off. These are very steampunkish, and I felt like I've done steampunk quite a bit. I mean, I could always do the smaller images for the Dutch door too. And then what I was thinking, I could cut this page a little bit and you would see a little bit of that. So I could do like a little bit of a waterfall edge. I have to figure out what I would do. I don't have very much washi that matches this. That's the only problem. Yeah, I don't think I have any real washi that matches these colors. These are very unique colors. It's kind of like a maroonish. That does not match at all. I don't like the striped. Neither one of these match, but I felt like they could possibly work. Especially maybe in front of that, they would work. So, what are we going to do now? I mean, because the other thing I could do is just use that as a sticker. And I could do something like, we have the tea kettle, we have a couple of teacups, and we have the hat, which I think the hat is attached to this. That's why that looks so cool. All right, how big is this? Let me grab some wax paper. So on this page, I just do a TBR shelf. So I have room over here. I actually probably have room on the other page too, because on the other page, I do a monthly calendar. And that's where I track my reading. So I think I could just make it small. Just put dots in there. I usually read a max of 2 books in any given day. Mostly it's just 1, but it might be 2 books if I start a new book right after I finish another book. That is large, but I don't care. I like it. And I could bump it right up against the edge. I think I'm going to do it, y'all. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Yes, I am. I like to be creative in my journals. By the way, while I'm doing this, I did create a new supplemental reading journal. Yes, another one. Like I said, I do have a magical readathon reading journal. And I do have a series tracking reading journal. But that just wasn't enough. I needed more. So I also created a regular review reading journal. Because truth be told, I don't have as many pages or as much space to do reviews in here. Wait a minute. As I would like. And I like this better. So do we just do like that? Let's get rid of this border. So yeah, I did a video. I set it up. I did a video where I did a flip through of like a new Live Love Posh sticker book. And then I used that to set up like the name page and stuff. And then I kind of talked about how I wanted to set it up, like brainstormed that. Then I did a follow-up video where, I think it's fine. I don't need that like little thing on there. Where I did the flip through of everything that I set up off camera. Because I'm also going to be using that as an ongoing reading log. Because I think it's kind of cool to like see every book that you've read in one place. Versus having to go to every year's reading journal to see what I read. I want it like that. So it looks like it's tilting. That's cool. Oh, it's so cool. I think. Until I start cutting it out. So yeah, I will link that down in the description box just in case you're interested. I do have a reading journal playlist as well. So you can like check that out to see all of my reading journal videos, including for those supplemental reading journals. All right. Am I going to try the gyro cut? I don't think I need it for everything, but I definitely need it for some of these like little tight spots. So now I'm going to do is I'm going to just come in and cut around this. And then let me trim off the cup and then we are done. All right, there we go. A lot of cutting. Look how that looks so cool. Okay, so now I need to do the same exact stickers on the other side. So what I did is, again, these all came from Creative Fabrica. They came on to a sticker sheet where I didn't love all of the images. So I did put them in Canva and I cropped some of the images out. So that way I could place multiple sheets on the same page, if that makes sense, because these were like a couple of different sheets. So I could put all of the images that I liked onto one page. Okay. I think this is tilted. Maybe. Okay. The blue cup. Yeah, and then what I did is I had to put it in my Cricut and then do some offsets and things like that. And I ended up flipping the design in Cricut, like doing a reverse. So that way I could create the Dutch doors. I waited till I got it in Cricut to do that. So that way I was guaranteed that it was the same exact image and the same exact sizing with the same exact offsets. So after I went ahead and print and cut one image, I just went ahead and took that same image and then did a reverse and then just print and cut it again without making any other adjustments. So that's how I did this for the reversed images. And there we go. So I'm thinking we kind of want this page to look like it's part of this. So I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to add washi. I think we're just going to cut off a small sliver of the page. I just don't have room on this page to cut off. Plus I have that on the other side. Because I'm really bad at cutting a straight line, even if I use a ruler. Let's take this off for now. I'm going to cut it with my paper cutter because why not? It's here. Okay. I think that's close. Not really, but it's close enough. So I just want to do that so that way you can see that all 3 pages are together. But you'll also be able to see the red behind it, which I don't have. I don't have anything that matches that. So it also brings in a little bit of the red. So, well, that actually doesn't look bad. Actually looks pretty good. Okay. We'll see what this looks like with it. I won't rip this off yet. You know, the hard part's done. I'm almost done now. Okay, I kind of like that too. Then we have this big guy that I feel like needs to go like right here, right? Now, if I had more room, I would probably cut another Dutch door. So I would like put this here and then cut around it. I just don't have that kind of room in this particular journal. So, you know, there are really no rules. But, you know, sometimes I do like 2, 3, 4 Dutch door spreads. I'm really just doing 1 today. But this will kind of give us somewhat of an illusion of a Dutch door. So this will give an illusion of a second one. Okay. Still didn't really do too much, but that's okay. Oh, I have 2 of these. And I'm probably only going to use 1. So I didn't know what I was going to use for the Dutch doors. I just figured do them all. Oh, yeah, we can do this. Okay, I want the handle outward. Okay, let's do that. Okay. I actually feel like the white offset with these stickers works with all of the colors. All right, so I have a few more things. I also have some butterflies and some florals. I don't know if I necessarily want to put them here. You can't see it enough. I think I'm gonna just put that there. Oh, I just ripped this. It stuck to my fingers. We have another one. This one ripped off the page, but that's okay. I want this to go off the page a little bit. Okay, that looks better like that. Going a little wonky. I think it looks fine. I think it looks fine. And we'll add... Yeah, I like that. Okay. All right. Now I have some extra stickers sticking to the edge of my desk that will probably end up on my shirt. I'm going to trim this off. And then we can kind of finish with the rest of the setup because the decorating is pretty much done. Wow. Okay. So here I just do some bookshelves, but I'm going to do it with stamps this time, guys. Stamps. Yes, I am. Where's my stamp book? So when I was creating my book review journal, I have this stamp collection here, and I think these are just header stamps, but this is actually a really good size for a book for me to write in. I mean, it's fairly large, but I need something large like that. So that helps me out tremendously. Now, the hard part is going to be figuring out colors. Because I didn't think to do that in advance. So I have salvaged patina, tumbled glass, speckled egg. I wish I had like that Tiffany blue. Rhubarb stalk. Thought I had something closer to maroon, but I don't think I do. Okay, we're gonna see what this looks like first. I'm gonna do it with this one to test the color. I kind of like that. I definitely kind of want a darker color. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of get to stamping. So this is where I do my TBR, and for the Magical Readathon, I have to read 4 books. So what I think I'm going to do this month, what I usually do is have a annual challenge TBR up here and then my regular TBR down there, like other books that I might want to read. And obviously I don't complete, like I try to complete the challenge TBR, but everything else is just extra. So instead of doing that this month, I'm going to have my Aurelium Academy TBR down here. And what I'll do is as I'm stamping, I will do a voiceover to kind of tell you what books I'm going to read. Then I also do the Adventures in Audio, which is part of the Magical Readathon. It's the year-long one. So I have chosen a book for that. I have the Buzzword Cover Challenge, the Buzzword Regular Challenge. I have the Year Goober. And then I do my own, which is Bookopoly. I rolled that before I started because that's the only way I'm going to pick my TBR. And I landed on cover pick. I was nervous when I rolled an 11. I was like, ooh, this is not going to be good. But I got a cover pick. So, yeah. So I have ideas for most of that. There is like 1 or 2 books that are going to be covering from both like 2 challenges, which I need because it's 7 books on my TBR, and that's a lot for me. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp this. I think I want these tall today. All right, so I'm going to be talking about my TBR as I go through the rest of this decorating setup process of this journal in a sped up version. So you're going to probably see me decorating other pages while I'm still talking about the TBR because I definitely want to go over the prompts with you guys. So like I said, as far as this page goes, my challenges for my year-long challenges are going to be in that top shelf or on that top shelf. And then the books that I plan to read as part of the Aurelium Academy Spring Equinox is going to be on that bottom shelf. And some of these books will cover more than one challenge, or at least I hope they will, because I don't think I can read more than 7 books. So right now, my TBR, which is going to be very, very loose, it's a very, very loose TBR. There's so many books that I want to read that I think a couple of them may get swapped out. But for the Adventures in Audio, which is the year-long Magical Readathon challenge, the prompt that I have is River and the Title. And that one, I had a hard time picking something just because nothing really spoke to me. But there was a book available through Prime Reading that is A River of Golden Bones. It's a romantasy book, so we'll see. I think it's like less than 400 pages, so might give that one a try. For the Buzzword Reading Challenge, so like the original Buzzword Challenge, because now there's like 2, it is Ordinal Numbers. And this is the book that I'm pretty sure I am going to read because I own this book. And I really need to get my physical TBR down. So the book that I'm going to be reading is 13th Child. And then for the Buzzword Cover Challenge, the prompt is a wearable accessory on the cover. And for that one, I'm going to read Rose and Chains. There is a picture of a necklace on the cover. Yeah, a lot of the books that I want to read had nothing that fulfilled this prompt on the cover. I was very disappointed, but that one I hear rave reviews about, so that one might be good. There's another book that is on my TBR that I might be able to finagle to cover this if I'm struggling to read 7 books next month, so we'll see. All right, now let's talk about the Magical Readathon, and some of these will cover some of the other challenges as well. So I'll talk about that when I get to it. So for, first of all, I am a mage hunter, so that's why I have 4 classes. It's conjuration, elemental studies, spells and incantations, and restoration. And for conjuration, my prompt is the first enticing book you see on social media. Poison Daughter. That is everywhere right now, so I chose that one. Then for elemental studies, it is temperature word in the title, Cold Wire. As long as I can get that from the library, that has been on my library hold shelf for a while now. Spells and incantation is currently on the bestseller list. We're going to try to do Alchemized, y'all. That is a 1,000-page book, and I heard the first part is very, very slow. It doesn't pick up to the second part. So that one has me a bit nervous. And then for restorations, it is ask for 5 5-star titles and picked one. I just kind of followed some of my favorite booktubers, and everybody's talking about Tortured Souls, and a lot of people gave it 5 stars. So that is what I'm going to do. And that's also going to cover my Bookopoly prompt, which was pick a book based on the cover, because this cover is super cool. And there's a skeleton or a skull on the cover wearing a crown. And I was like, is that an accessory? Could I use that for that prompt? If I'm struggling to read all 7 books and I don't get to Rose in Chains, then I may use it for that prompt. But I am going to try to read Rose in Chains because I hear that that's really good. So yeah, that is my TBR. We'll see how many of those I stick with and how many I change out. But I'm excited. I think it's going to be a good reading month. Really quickly, basically all I'm doing now is filling out the page where I'm going to put my stats and do my charts and fun things like that. All of my categories for my stats, those are the categories that I do my stats for every single month. So like pages read, hours listened, number of books finished, number of books DNF'd, average time to finish a book, and total number of days read. So those are the types of stats that I do every month so I can compare it month to month. All right, guys, I am all done. Out of all the 4 months I've done thus far, I think this is my favorite one that I've done to date. And it was also the simplest one, even with the Dutch doors. And this looks all complicated, but it really wasn't. So again, all of the stickers, the graphic here, the full page graphic, I got that from Creative Fabrica. And then I just kind of edited and modified it in Canva. So yeah, I did the 8x8 full page here. Then I added the month and then chapter. Again, this was what I put in for the Dutch door. So it's 1 big sticker plus 2 small stickers. Then I stamped in some header boxes to be my TBR boxes. So we have my challenge TBR. That's for the challenges that are in my book, like the annual challenges. And then I have my Readathon TBR. My calendar, which I noticed that when I drew in the calendar, it picked up ink from this, and you can see it a little bit on here, but that's okay. And then this is where I'm going to do my reading log. And then my pie charts and all of this. And this is the first time I've actually used the Tombow to add color, and I really like it. So like if you look at January, see, I just did different color inks, and I like that too, but I think this is really pretty. It adds a lot during the before. The after will look a lot better anyway, but when I'm just at the before stage, I like the way this looks. And then, of course, this was the simplest of all, and it still turned out really, really cool. So my recap page, which, again, I'll put book covers here. And then this is the books that I would have finished for the Readathon, which is the spring equinox at the Aurelium Academy. So, again, I will also put covers here. So there we go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. As a reminder, I do have a reading journal playlist, so you can check out some of my other setups in that playlist. I will have that playlist linked down below, and it will also show up at the end of this video, so you can just click right from there. All right, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to watch this video. I really do hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, hit that thumbs up. And if you have yet to subscribe, I hope you would also consider subscribing. That is all I have for now. I hope you have a good rest of your day, evening, or night. Until next time, bye.